you still just like, all right, when I'm able, I'm gonna get them.
Exactly.
But, man, that's how I was a couple years ago. I was going to get everything. Then I looked at my closet. I said, man, I'm finna sell so much of this shit, man. I went too crazy though. I was selling Air Max 97, silver bullets. I sold my Royal ones. I sold my Laney ones. I sold my Chicago ones. Bro, I went crazy, bro. I just wanted to detach from wanting this shit, bro, because I wanted it too much. I was like, man, you know what? I just gotta let some grails go. And then I looked at my closet. I was like, damn, I ain't got shit to wear.
Now you like, I gotta go buy these again.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Quez Cantrell. I'm tapped in here with Higher Ground, and you are watching another installment of Heights. Man, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. You know, in particular, the east side of town. We call it out east, you know, but I lived a little bit everywhere in Nashville. South Nashville, North Nashville. I got family everywhere, but, you know, mainly come from the east side of the town. You know what I'm saying? Man, I think, you know, just like everybody, man, I probably tapped in. You know, you got big cousins and big brothers, and so I was probably about 7 or 8 once I tapped into that it's actually something to do. You know what I'm saying? Just pressing the little recorder that you used to have with the play and the record, and you know, from that I was kind of hooked. You know what I mean? And my cousin Wiley, you heard him on Creeping at My Window. You know what I'm saying? But he was kind of the first one to just tie us into, you know, music and art and just culture in general. So I would say that I probably started taking it serious and, like, you know, had my own little rap book, you know, while I would write other artists' raps, probably around 11, 12 years old. First time recording was 13. And then after that, man, I just, you know, went more back in trying to figure out how to be an A&R. Like, that's what I wanted to do. You know, working on websites for artists, just different, whatever I could do to, you know, be a part. And then, you know, going from there, I was just tapped into being an artist here lately. And, you know, I think this is what was meant for me, but I had to go through all the other stuff to kind of, you know, build myself up to this point. So, January this year, January 31st, 2020, I dropped my first project. It's entitled 9, just the number 9, nothing more, nothing less. You know, and it uses Steve McNair's likeness and just a symbol that he represented for the city, and it kind of takes that and it makes, I use that to symbolize, you know, blackness as a whole in the city, and kind of just tell the story of being black in Nashville, you know, and the experiences that we go through, good and bad, collective things, collective identities and symbols that we have, like, you know, Slamming Huskies and, you know, Miss Winters, just certain things that I touch on in there, and just, you know, talking about injustice and, you know, kind of the way that things are set up in the world today. You know, it just ended up speaking, you know, what we see today in life, you know what I mean, with the issues of blackness, you know, financial literacy. It's just a whole bunch tied up into the project that if you know, sit down and tap into it, you know, you can get a feel of what it's like to be black in Nashville, you know, and kind of that feeling of just having that glass ceiling, also being ignored, you know what I'm saying, and kind of feel like you're neglected outside of who they make feel important, you know what I'm saying, in the city, and kind of just that being that voice and speaking to the idea, you know, for the unheard, you know what I mean? So I guess just to touch on, you know, where the concept came from. I actually wrote that song. I remember the exact day, March 31st, 2019, and that was the exact day Nip was assassinated. And like that in particular, you know, I had that beat for probably like 3 months, and I was just sitting on it. I was like, man, this sounds like I'm supposed to say something on it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't write nothing, no concepts, nothing. I didn't let it, you know. I just kind of took the beat and sat with it for about 3 months. And when that happened, man, you know, I had a little moment with my family there, because that was, you know, it was an emotional situation. And I kind of just went in and laid that down that day, you know, a rough version, and then ended up doing the version that you hear on the album with D Grand, and it's produced by the UFO Productions Group. But man, you know, that was just one of those songs that, like, it was just, it was pure emotion, you know what I'm saying? It was pure emotion. It was raw. It was definitely just the way that I felt at the time. Yeah, man, you know, it was one of those that it's one of those songs that it's hard for me to connect with because I lived with it so much. You know what I'm saying? I went through the loss of a cousin and a brother, and to see that it still can take an effect when, you know, a young black man loses his life, a young black woman loses her life to police brutality and just, you know, hatred and racism in this country. It's just one of those songs just like, I get it and I understand the importance of it, but it is kind of tough to connect to it, you know what I'm saying, sometimes, because it's a lot of pain that went into making it, but I definitely understand what people get out of it. And I'm glad that something that I went through can help paint a picture for something else, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's just one of those tracks, man. It's just one of those. I hope that it lives, you know, forever, and it's kind of sadness that we get so much to relate to it too, you know, for the rest of our lives, hopefully. But, you know, yeah, it's just one of those tracks for me. So the main thing on my plate is just wrapping up 9, you know, moving past that project. You know, so I got 2 more visuals planned. You know, I got a visual for 9 that we just wrapped up shooting, the title track. And I got a visual that I'm working on with All Eyes. I'm working with All Eyes on both of them. But we got a visual to Creeping at My Window that we're working on, which I think is going to be like, you know, once we pull it off and get it to where it's supposed to be, I feel like it's just going to be, you know, the perfect, you know, cap on that project and moving on to the next one. And, you know, after I release those videos, I actually have a single coming out shortly after called Talking My Shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, me being a humble guy, not really knowing how to, you know, in music it's a lot of bravado, you know what I'm saying? A lot of, you know, popping and capping, and, you know, and I just ain't really that type of guy. So it's just my way of humbly talking my shit, you know what I'm saying? And in a way that like only I feel I could, to where you just kind of got to respect it, you know what I'm saying? So we got that. We got a few more, man. We working on another project. And I don't really want to give the full details to that one out just yet, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, when it hit, I feel like it's going to be one of those, and, you know, it's going to be one that I think people can get excited about, you know what I mean? So yeah, we got some more, man. Videos, music, features. You know, we just kind of tapped into whatever we need. You know, whatever we trying to stay busy through this quarantine. You know what I mean? You know, I got the call from Doe just to be a part of something, and you know, I'm the type where I just want to work. You know what I mean? Even if it ain't what I got going on, I want to be a part and just lend and do whatever I can. So he sent me the beat. You know, the beat is from Chris King. It's one of them. You know, as soon as I heard it, I knew that it was one that I was gonna write to, and I sat down and man, you know, it's just a song about just giving people their flowers, man, their respect, you know, telling people that you admire them. We live in a time where, you know, some people think it makes you look weak to give somebody their flowers, or some people thinks it makes you look like you smaller because you bigging somebody up, you know what I'm saying? But it's really like you appear bigger in that sense, because you can go from outside yourself, you know what I'm saying, to pour into somebody else. And a lot of people, like, you know, have an issue with that. And me, man, I just, you know, on this song, I just wanted to do that with all the artists over the last, and not all, just as many as I could fit in there, but, you know, just the artists that I mess with, you know, shout them out, and then also speak to the idea of just giving flowers to people while they're here and not waiting till they, you know, they gone, they having to post, you know, RIPs and long lives on IG and nothing like that, you feel me? So, you know, it was a personal record, personal lyrics, but it's one that I'm glad I was a part of it, for sure. Overall culture, I think it's just, you know, if I had to pick like just one word, phrase, or meaning, it would just kind of be an underdog culture. You know what I'm saying? It's one that I remember as a kid, like, you know, my pops had boxes and boxes of South Bay Mafia merch at our house. So it's like, you know, I got to see where it went from that, and you only had a select few people who know the artist, who know the person that's tapped in, to now where it's growing to where it's like, you know, you got people becoming fans of new artists through social media and just, you know, avenues of people that they don't know. So it's grown to a place where it's like we're growing more to the general listener, you know what I'm saying? And it's becoming more, you know, I think people are just taking the culture more serious here. You know, I got a phrase that I say all the time called normalize. I just say normalize black artists in Music City, you know what I'm saying? And like that means, like, you know, even for me, when I was telling people I'm gonna do music, you know, normalizing it would be like, well, we are in Music City. It makes sense for people in Music City to pursue music. we got to take that stigma out where people just kind of look at it and be like, you doing music too? You doing music? He think he can, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just want to normalize the stigma of being a black artist here, because there's so many black artists doing so much stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's real artistry going on. And, you know, I think we got to bring it up to a level of respect, you know what I'm saying, for the artist in order for it to keep growing. But where we at currently, like, you know, anywhere you turn, anywhere you look, you can find a dope artist down here. It's so many, you know what I'm saying? And there's so many that I tap into all the time. So I think we're in a great place to just keep growing, you know what I'm saying? Just keep working and building the culture and, you know, the structure of whatever it is. And, you know, hopefully we can keep building on top of that to the future, you know what I mean? Man, first I want to shout out, I want to shout out the people who helped me put 9 that wasn't really like who helped me put 9 together that wasn't really like, you know, broadcast, but like shout out to Petty, man. Petty helped me get the project together and just gain a lot of confidence to even do certain things. You know, a lot of the connections that I made. Shout out to Neek, who done the album art. I actually linked up with him through Ron Obasi, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Ron making that link happen. Shout out to Villain, shout out to Coleman, and shout out to Petty. You know, that's why I recorded all 3 of the songs for 9. You know what I'm saying? And just shout out to Wiley, shout out to D Grand and the feature, Sofa Brown killed it. And shout out to everybody that was involved for that one. Shout out to Alex, you know, putting these visuals together. Hopefully I ain't missing nobody, man. It's a lot of people, you know, and we still moving forward, so we're gonna have some more shout outs. Hopefully if I missed you on this one, I can shout you out on the next one, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, just shout out to everybody who took the time to listen. Shout out to you if you watching this, you know what I mean? If you checked out Flowers, I hope you did. You know what I mean? Flowers for the Living, it's a dope track. Yeah, man, you know, I'm just thankful for everybody that checked it out, man, so I appreciate y'all.